What's up, college football fans and Mean Green fans? Sonoy Valente here once again with the Mean Green Show. Today, joined once again by Miles, and we're going to jump into this UNT QB room and the QB competition that's going on and whatnot, and just give our opinions on the matter. But guys, before we get into all that, you already know the drill. If you're a fan of G5 football, all that comes along with that, the transfer portal and NIL, guys, just consider hitting that like and subscribe button because that is truly all that we talk about. All right, Miles. So we already talked about Grant Gunnell joining UNT's quarterback room, and it's a full room. It wasn't like we were lacking depth from a numbers perspective in that room. So as it sits now, we have Austin Aune, we have Jace Ruder, who's a transfer. We have Stone Earl, who is a transfer from ACU. Okay, Jace Ruder's transfer from North Carolina. Stone Earl's out of Abilene Christian. JD Head out of Louisiana Tech, and now Grant Gunnell, the former Arizona and former Memphis quarterback. So that's 5 quarterbacks, and 4 of them are transfers. And I don't mean to sound too sinister here, but one, I guess, kind of optimistic look at it is like all the guys that transferred in here, they're kind of stuck here for better or for worse, for a lack of a better terms, just because I feel like in today's transfer portal era and the way that it is with the college landscape, if you're transferring from a school and you've got to sit a year, I feel like your value just is greatly diminished as opposed to player B who can play immediately. So once you do that transfer, that after that first transfer, you really kind of gotta make sure that one works for you. Anyway. All right, so Austin Aune, the transfer slayer. Jace Ruder came in last year, and there's a high chance, even with Grant Gunnell's being added, that Jace Ruder could still be the most talented quarterback in the room, just from the things that people have said about him and how he can make a Sunday throw out of nowhere sometimes. I know we haven't necessarily seen that being translated to on game day. However, Jace was kind of thrown into, I don't know if he was force-fed the starting spot as far as, okay, you get here and we're going to give you every opportunity to start and we're going to roll you out, week 1 to see what you can do. I don't know if that happened or not, but one way or the other, he wasn't here for spring football, ended up starting. That's a lot of things to try to get under your belt as far as the offense and this, that, and the other, without a spring. So he did that, didn't really have a full deck of wide receivers either to help him out. And we saw how that played out. It wasn't, Ruder didn't see a lot of success. Turned to Aune last year and we managed to go 6-6 to make it to a bowl game to ultimately lose, right? So then fast forward a year, we pick up Stone Earl, again, out of Abilene Christian, really good completion percentage coming from the FCS ranks, played a lot of football there. And as well as JD Head from Louisiana Tech. A lot of Louisiana Tech guys are really high on him. Says, at times shown really good flashes and whatnot. He played against us, beat us, in Ruston last year. But kind of bringing it back to spring football, Austin Aune, I know we were both there. That's the best I've seen Aune look. He looked good, and him and Jamori Macklin, they seem to have a quick connection, and really it looked good to me. And then I know we didn't see a lot of Jace Ruder in the spring. I'm not sure really what the case is there, but Stone Earl looked probably second best out of that group, and then JD Head didn't look bad either. So I was kind of like, all right, Austin Aune's the guy. Coach Luttrell talked him into coming back for 1 more year, supposedly, right? And that's just going to be it. And this is going to be his Austin Aune's first attempt to start a season without any division, if you will. Year after Mason Fine, it was co-starters with him and Jason Bean. Then after Jason Bean leaves, then we're back to 2021. He's obviously the starter going through spring. They bring Jace Ruder in, shuffle it up a little bit. Austin Aune's not the starter, so now he goes to this spring, starter once again. coming into this season, presumably going to be the starter. Now we bring in Grant Gunnell. And now we're kind of getting all that whole swirl again of like, okay, like here comes this highly rated guy, and there is reason to stop and consider it. I mean, the people that I reached out to about Grant Gunnell, they said if this guy can play even close to what he's supposed to play at, then UNT can contend for Conference USA. Those are other people's words, not mine. I just want to put that. I'm just saying that's the type of things that I'm hearing from people that have played against him, played with him, maybe have coached him. I mean, just there's really, really a lot of high praise about Grant coming in. But my thing is, week 0 is UTEP. You that's a conference game, week 0 at UTEP. We don't really have the luxury to figure anything out week 0. If Austin Aune is a full step above the rest of the competition, whether it be just because he knows the offense and he's got the chemistry down with the wide receivers, I feel like you got to go with him. Like we don't have time to figure it out. And again, I don't mean to sound selfish, but all these guys that transferred in, you don't really have to please them too much because they can't. It's going to be really hard for them to leave. They can't really. Okay, I'm not going to play. I'm going to transfer out. I mean, yeah, they can obviously, but they're going to have to sit that year. So I think pretty much everybody here on the depth chart would probably stay unless they just decide to stop playing football. Anyway, man, what are your thoughts on the match? How do you think they're going to? Do you think they're going to cut Grant in the line to number 2 and have him truly battle with Austin Aune? What are your thoughts? And also, people that are listening, who do you guys want to see start week 0 against UTEP? A and B, who do you think will start? But anyway, Miles, if you can kind of take it from there.
Well, you mentioned Jason Bean, and that felt like so long ago right now. I try to think of him like, man, that was 2020. That was almost 2 full seasons ago. And he's doing pretty solid at Kansas right now. But it's a very overwhelming QB room just because now you have 5 guys in there. I think I questioned myself. I was like, well, are they going to redshirt? Like, now was Stone Earl or JD had any redshirted at all, or?
Okay, and this is right off the top of my no pun intended. This is right off my head, but I think Stone Earl came in 2020, and the FCS played like a spring game or spring season where they had 4 season or 4. I'm sorry, he came in 2020, and I think they had their season in the spring where he played 4 games. I think he played all 4 of those games, but that didn't count. Then 2021, just a regular season, and he played. So they call that 2021 his true freshman year. And so now we're in 2022. So I think Stone Earl has 4 to play 3. I think that's the statement. So I think he has his redshirt year if he wants to take it, and 3 years of actual playing. So yeah, that's a great point. To what my knowledge is now, I think Stone could redshirt next season.
Yeah, because it says on the UNT side, it says prior to UNT, he played in 2 games in 2020 and preserved redshirt. So
Okay. Yeah.
it makes me think, like, are they going to redshirt this guy? And when Ani leaves next year,
When you said redshirt this guy, you mean Stone?
yes,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, redshirt him, and when Ani leaves next year, does he move up, or
Right.
it makes me just question of what they're going to do with all these quarterbacks, because you really just landed 3 in one off season when you already had 2 that could compete, but the results weren't quite there. And I said it on the other one. I think it's a great addition. I think this is going to help propel not just Ani but everybody to get better. And you, like I said, you have the weapons around you. Macklin, you were right. Ani looked great in the first. I saw 2 spring scrimmages, and Ani looked great in both. People are saying he's going to be a little bit better because he's had more experience every year, and we have the same excuses of having no receivers last year with all the injuries that we had. There's things that could be said, but at the same time, I feel like he's going to be better. I don't know. I think Reuter was a leg injury. I could be wrong. I feel like I saw that somewhere. Maybe one of his family members said it. Not quite for sure. I know he was injured, but it's overwhelming at the fact of we have 5 guys and they're all good caliber quarterbacks, and it makes me wonder what they're going to do during fall camp, just because of how are you going to run out 4 guys in redshirt 1 and have them on the sideline? Or are you going to how the reps can be counted, because Gunnell's just coming in here for the first time. He did get full spring at Memphis. He wasn't injured during spring, so that's a positive. He actually got action during spring, so he has a little bit under his belt, even though he didn't play last year at all. But he has experience. Aune has a lot more experience. Right now, it feels like it's going to be Gunnell versus Aune, but maybe Reuter does something, maybe Earl does something if they don't redshirt him. But it's making me question a lot of things of what they're going to do, and we'll probably never know because they never say anything because they're always so vague and they always want to make us wonder until the Tuesday of the week when they release the schedule or the depth chart. But I feel more confident now. I feel like we have that missing piece offensively that can help us offensively. I don't know. Overall, defense wins championships, and defense is a reason why we won 6 games last year.
Yeah.
But we lost a lot of guys. That's a whole different side of the ball.
Yeah.
But quarterback is a step in the right direction.
Right.
And since Mason Fine, which that felt like it was a decade ago now, we just haven't had it. And I think now it's starting to get to that point where we do have it.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of have 2 thoughts on the matter. I mean, I guess at the quarterback position, if you have the opportunity to upgrade via portal or whatever the case, I mean, we'll just keep it portal because that's just kind of seems like what it is these days. But let's say you have the opportunity to upgrade, you take it. I mean, even if you have Mason Fine, back like you have your starter, if you have a chance to grab a good QB, I mean, you take them. And if that person's going to come in and just be nothing but depth, at least you have a really good backup, right? I feel that way about them getting Grant Gunnell, but I also feel that, I mean, I feel like they're gonna put him, like, this is gonna be between Gunnell and Austin Aune, just outside speculation, just because, I mean, they have plenty of depth. So I just feel like they feel like maybe Gunnell could be the guy. I mean, can he figure it all fast enough and reach that high that a lot of people think he possesses, and essentially maybe take us from, we hope, right? I mean, maybe a 5 to 6 win team to maybe that 7 to 8 win team, maybe more. But it's going to be interesting. I really I don't know. I mean, I am happy that they got him. And I think it's exciting. And I think it does give a lot of reason to be excited. But I mean, what do you think though? Week 0 at UTEP, who do you think starts as of right now?
Oh man. Oh, that's a really, really tough question considering we aren't even.
Let me give you 2 questions. Who starts week 0 at UTEP? A, and barring any injury, does that person stay the starter, or do we see a little bit of musical chairs like we have ever since Mason Fine has left?
That's a really tough question because I have not seen any of Gunnell at all. Man, it's tough. Right now, I think I'm just going to say Aune, just because of the fact that he has not even stepped on Gunnell has not even stepped on campus yet. And I plan on making at least 1 or 2 practice scrimmages a week during fall camp because I'm really, and that I was not really excited about football season as much as I usually am until this happened. Now I'm a little bit more excited. Now I want to actually see this team more and more. So I'm going to say Aune for right now. I think that will definitely change come August when we do, fall camp stuff. But I feel like it's just because he's been there. They know that he's improving. And now they might have another piece and wide receiver that can actually help them too. So give me Aune for right now. But that down the stretch of the year, that's the one I can't. It's really hard to answer that because what if Aune gets to start week 1? He plays bad. We barely win, which if we lose, that's a whole different story. If we lose, that's a big snowfall. Snowball down the hill. But I don't know. Aune has not gone a full season. I've realized that he has not started every single game. We've not.
Well, a lot of it he's coming in to start though. Like he doesn't start off as a starter. He's having to relieve said starter, whether it be Bean or Reuter. Like he's usually the one having to come in and put together something,
2020 was just, I don't know what they were doing there. It
Oh,
was
Lord
every other
Jesus.
week. It felt like they were just tossing
Yeah.
between each quarter, which is really, really bad because it shows that there was no confidence. And really,
Yeah.
there wasn't, because I wouldn't have any confidence in those two either. But yeah, no, we haven't had a quarterback play every single game since Mason Fine, and that's a problem. And
Mhm.
because there was no injuries, it was just bad quarterback play. So
Mhm.
I don't know. We haven't seen Aune play a full season yet, so that's the thing that bothers me, because he has not played every single 12 games.
Yeah.
He's played every game.
Yeah.
He's not started every game.
Right.
And they lost the confidence in Reuter and against SMU, which, I mean, he didn't do that bad against SMU. They
No.
just could not get anything going.
Mhm.
But so yeah, that SMU game's gonna be big and it's gonna be tough. We can talk about that. We can talk about that in
Yeah.
a minute. But I feel like we're gonna see. I don't know. The down the stretch part is really hard, because if Aune does start, I have no clue what Gunnell's gonna bring. That's
Mhm.
the thing. So right
Yeah.
now, I'll say Aune on both questions, but come to me in July or August. It's gonna be. I bet you, if I see one practice, give me one practice.
You just need one throw from
I just see
Grant,
one,
and you're
I
gonna.
just see what practice he
Let's
looks
be
like.
honest. Like you're
I just
just
see
gonna.
one practice.
He's
I
6'6".
could just be watching. I could just get a drone and watch it from like an angle, and still get my answer for the next time. I mean, I don't need much. I just need something, because I don't care about Memphis. I care about here. I want to see his play here. So
Right.
that's what I'm waiting for. But it's if
Yeah.
there was odds in Vegas on North Texas quarterback situation, I think I'm gonna give Aune the money line on that one. We're gonna give
Dude,
all Aune on that.
that's interesting. There should be. So basically, what we got from you, Miles, is Grant Gunnell. He's not on campus yet, so we're going with Ani. But the second he steps on campus,
It's like it's
everything, yeah,
like
it's Gunnell's job to lose. But cool, man. Well, yeah, we'll get into all schedule speculation and stuff like that. There's a lot to. We'll probably save that video for a later date when we get some more transfers and see kind of speculation of what the depth chart will look like. But man, it's going to be interesting, man. But week 0, I mean, just kind of to reiterate it, that's now because of all the changes in conference, Southern Miss leaving and Marshall leaving, and who
we haven't
else
even
left?
talked about that.
I know we haven't talked.
We get like several to bang
Yeah,
out right here. There's a lot. But
I know.
Marshall, Old Dominion,
And Southern Miss,
So
right?
we lost
Yeah.
home in a road game, and we added. I mean, right now our schedule in general is it's not tough, because we have 2 bye weeks.
Yeah.
Which I hate, because I don't like when we don't play football all week. It takes me out. I don't like it. But it's going to be a challenge, just because there are more difficult teams. You had Southern Miss and Marshall. Marshall wasn't bad. Southern Miss was terrible. They were the worst team. They were the second worst team in the conference. I would much rather play them than play FAU. I want to play Southern Miss. I don't want to play FAU.
Yeah.
But
F that. But week 0 being UTEP, kind of bringing it back to that. That's a conference game. That's like a double weighted game almost for the first game of the season. And if you lose against UTEP,
you're
that
0-1
doesn't.
conference.
You're
It's like
0-1.
you're 0-1 conference, and you're already in a hole. You're already last.
And then you got SMU, and then if you lose to UTEP, it's going to be a hard sell to convince the fans that you're going to pull it off against SMU
and make it to the game without being embarrassed and blazing hot.
Yeah.
I was a little bit confident, and I could still be confident if we beat UTEP. If we beat them 5-7, I'll be bold on Twitter and say we're beating SMU. Of course, we probably won't, but I was way more confident in March about our chances against SMU than I am now. They landed like 6 transfers in 2 days.
Yeah, they're killing it.
And they weren't lower transfers. And I said that on Twitter, and Mr. Macklin replied to my tweet with, "We're fine." And
I was glad he said that. I mean,
I'm glad there's a little bit of confidence in it,
Yeah.
that we actually have a little bit of faith. But at the same time, to the fans, that's not fine, because we've lost so many recruiting battles to SMU, and we lost 2 transfers. We lost 2 commits to SMU that flipped there. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's a whole different view of it now. I feel like we have to beat UTEP by 20 to be able to have a chance against SMU now.
Yeah, probably you're right. Probably you're right. Well, all right, Miles. Thanks again for jumping on here, and we'll have a lot more to talk about between now and the season, and it's going to be fun. So go Mean Green.
Go Mean Green.